who started the scientific method? A person gave the first knowledge on scientific method is René Descartes.
Okay.
René Descartes. He said, you must use a scientific method. Okay, you put up a theory or hypothesis, then you experiment on it, and does it prove your
Right. You get a
thing?
result.
And you can repeat it, and it will give you the same result. So that is scientific method. But the scientific method is a physical method, measurable, visible.
Right.
So when they asked René Descartes, you're only looking at the physical. What about the mind? It is not physical, but which is part of human. He said, leave the mind to God. You don't know how to study because you don't know how to measure.
So, okay, let me get this right. So for me to understand and also get absolute truth, I have to be exposed to things.
Yeah.
Constant new knowledge.
Yeah.
Which depends on what? Huh? Being exposed to constant new knowledge depends on what? Depends on your exposure to things.
Yes.
And some places on earth we never get exposed to it.
So you remain that level.
So what is that? What is that?
See,
why?
That's why when René Descartes, it's called the age of enlightenment. Age of reason and enlightenment. So we are evolving, progressing in our knowledge of things. So he realized, we have to do things scientifically. You cannot simply say, you must have evidence, you must do a methodology like this. Then the experiment repeated and giving the same results as the hypothesis, then only you can confirm that is true knowledge. So, the medical world, they use the scientific method. So they are within that frame.
But I think also, yes, this is human advancement,
Yeah.
but then I think we get lost in it so far deep inside, and then we forget to kind of look at the other side. That's why in the Baha'i faith it says equality of science and spirituality.
Yeah, that is what coming together now.
It's not different. You cannot just do a science experiment.
Knowledge you cannot divide. It's only one.
Right.
We have divided the truth and caused trouble.
You can't take the brain away from the
No,
mind.
you cannot divide
It's one
knowledge,
thing.
no.
The brain and the mind is one thing.
Yes, Abdul-Baha clearly says in the Paris talks, don't divide the truth. Truth is indivisible. You try to divide, you go into unreality. You go to unreality, you get chaos.
So which means relative truth and absolute truth is so correlative.
Yeah. It's like, see, your body. You are only studying the heart and you don't study the human. It's like relative truth compared to the absolute truth. See? So, what is important now about this Patagonian effect, evolution, natural selection, survival of the fittest, the Baldwin effect, epigenetics and all that we are actually progressing and adapting as we acquire the knowledge, assimilation. And this thing, assimilated things, will ultimately can go into our genes.
And then
Our genetic memory increases.
And then becomes absolute truth.
Are you the best to understand absolute truth is change?
I think that's the only thing we can
Maybe.
put a finger on. Because God also
Because
is
you took
like,
a son.
God also son, everything else is like quite, because constant change.
Right.
Constant change. Constant change.
That's why we always have to understand change.
Motion.
Yeah.
Constant motion.
Yeah.